Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Supercoach Challenges, and today we're going through the round 7 review, and it's been quite a good round for the SCC Curtin Call team. We finally saw another decent score, which put us in ranking of 5,534 for the 7th round. And saw us get a big rise of 11,392 into 23,526. So hopefully next week we can finally break the 20,000 and be on our way back to the tens. It was good. It was a good week, but obviously it's only 1 week and there's more to come, and the trades we make from now are going to be really important. But really, really happy to finally have a bit of a bounce back round. A few things went a bit pear-shaped as far as scoring went in the last few games, but nevertheless, we will have a look at what the team scored, how the final plays went, because if you watched the previous videos with the post-match conferences, you would have seen the scoring throughout up until now, but we'll still have a little chat about them anyway. So yeah, 2,403, which was a pretty good score. I think 2,350 seemed about par. And yeah, into 23,526. So let's get into the team, and yeah, this is how it ended up. So we had pretty standard backline: Sheasel, Dacos, so Martin. McGovern has that. I still rue the fact that I went to change McGovern to Yo last minute and missed because of the game hadn't started, but the lockout time had passed. Frustrations, because I'm looking at it now and it's been about probably about 150 points plus 50k, and Yo's now 600k, so now it's like the opposite ends of the spectrum where McGovern's 100k behind, and it just doesn't feel like the greatest pick, not at all. But we're going to have to stick with it because we want to get these other players. Like McGovern's good for a 90 each week, which isn't amazing, but we're just going to have to stick with it and move around other players unless he gets injured or something. But yeah, it would be nice to have had Yo now. He's worth an extra 100k. I've lost 40k on McGovern. So it's probably 200k in team value nearly difference, which is really, really frustrating. I mean, could you have picked he was going to go as big as he did against Richmond? No. And maybe I should have just got him in the week after, but there was other positions I was trying to fill in. And, I guess we don't have the score without that, but yeah, just annoying that, I went to change it, didn't get there, and he's averaged, I think, probably 130. Yo's 3-round average would be ridiculous. What is it? 3-round average of 135. So that's great to have missed 125 5-round. I think I just saw as well. Although today's game, I think he got overscored, to be honest. 18 disposals and 18 contested, but his efficiency was 65%. I guess he kicked 1 goal. But he was on 120 5 in the last quarter. I had 1 disposal and went up 12 points. So, and the game was pretty over by then. So I just don't agree with the way that they scale some players when they're ahead. Especially 18 disposals. Rankin kicked 4 goals, 1, and had 18 disposals yesterday. With more kicks, which has scored more because Yo's was 9 and 9, and their efficiency was around about the same, but still, I know Yo is contested possessions, and there's probably more you don't see from him getting in and under packs, but I just feel like 130 from that's, yeah, a bit wild. When it was the game is pretty much the same as the North Sydney one, but anyway, I'm probably just a bit salty because I could have him instead of McGovern right now and be another 200 points from probably top 10k, I would suggest. So that's frustrating. But anyway, Nas is also another issue. Not loving his role in St Kilda. I think I'm just going to probably have to ride him out as well. Score. He's got a good matchup at least. North should hopefully score well against, be a bit more open for him. We saw that the Crows defense decently. But if the ball doesn't get down there, it could be an issue. But I know North might be able to get a bit more down there with Marshall a bit injured and still not playing. He's having a bit of a down patch at the moment as well. So Williams in the end decided to keep 78, which is good because he beat break even. Probably on the chopping block this weekend. Brown, 55, obviously talked about. So then the midfield was pretty good. So Sarong, Bont, I don't really need to worry about Bont because everyone has him. It's like, 50% of teams have him. I thought it would be more. Do people trade him out? Maybe. Yeah. But he'll come back at some point. He looks a bit off at the moment, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Green 159, brilliant. Dawson, brilliant time to get him in last week. 558k. If you don't get him in this week, probably gonna be a forget week because if he scores 104, he's going up 36 grand. So he'll be 590 then, and then you're taking the risk on him again not to go back to his 80s. Hewitt had a down game, getting to the point where it could be looking to trade. His average has come under 100, which says a lot considering Dawson's is just above 100 as well. Collingwood could be a good game for him, I guess. I don't know. Midfielders are a bit more free-flowing, I guess, maybe than Geelong. Geelong's a pretty clinical team. Hewitt could have struggled with that a little bit. Matt Roberts just keeps on keeping on. Break even still 37, so we'll worry about him when he finally has a down game or towards the buys at this rate. Reed is coming back this week. Closey, so he had an arm issue at one point, so be interesting to just watch that. He did obviously come back on and play out the game, but I think we want to keep an eye on that, see if anything comes out about an injury with him. Well, obviously not the end of the world if he misses a game because it's a good loop. Because look at these loop scores we had on the bench. So I miss McKercher, which could have added probably 40 points instead of Closey. So that would have been nice. And Graham was a miss as well. Considering he outscored Williams, it's reasons you can probably move on Williams and feel pretty good about it. To be honest. Thorne was the captain, up to 710k. He must be the most expensive player now. Surely. He just doesn't stop. So Meek played pretty well, considering how Grundy. He got a nice goal that helped pump him up a bit. It was a bit lucky. He got a free kick at the top of the edge of the square that turned into a 50 because Grundy gave him a little love tap and, slotted the goal. Love that from him. He does have a low break even again. The problem I'm facing is the fact that everyone's going to be bringing in Sweet. And I can make a lot of money trading Meek to Sweet. And also it will de-risk the R2 trade. The only other option I really have is going like Livingston into the forward line and bringing him in as R2 Sweet. But there's not much point of that if he's just going to sit on the bench, and it's an easy loophole position. So I don't want to get stuck like I was last year. So yeah, that's probably how I'm thinking with that. Heaney played a good game, kicked a couple goals, just looks really lively, playing really well. Flanders, bit of a down game. I thought he played pretty well. Watching him, he got quite a bit of the ball. I think it was just hard because you had Anderson, Miller, and Rao all go really well. So this 105 could have been better had it not been because of that. Rankin, another good score. Enjoying having him. I still think people aren't going to look at him, which is good. So hopefully he can have a big game against Port. Port are going to be down on midfielders. Hopefully that helps him as well. And we can see another big score. Looks like the last time, 2 times he's played him, he's done quite well, averaged over 100 against them. So this is the Gold Coast game because it's at People First. So yeah, hopefully we can get another good score. Power, really worried about Power. He's losing money. He's not in a good role anymore. I I think Phillips is getting dropped, but I don't know whether that gets him CBAs. Because even when Phillips did get dropped, Power wasn't necessarily playing more CBAs. So really, really worried about that one. See, I feel like I have to hold because 25% do have him, but yeah, like you can see a lot of jumping off. And I'm very tempted to jump off because I didn't like him in the first place and only got on him because everyone was getting on him and wanted the cash boost. And I think now it could be worth, 102K I probably paid. When did I buy him? Probably, I feel like it was here. So, at this point, only really made 40K out of him. So, yeah, it's a bit of a fail pick and probably should just trust the gut that Barco would change the team up. But that's what I got to figure out who's going out this week. Darcy played really, really well. I thought he was really, really good for them in their ruck. It just seemed to be really good in the air, getting a lot of the ball, playing a little bit of ruck as well. And I think he's, as much as we thought Lob might affect him badly, he's still being able to score because he's kicking goals. So at this point, break even's only 41, so we can trust him for another week and continue to score off him. Cadman is probably at the end of his tether, although 52 is not the end of the world because he's actually scored higher than that. 80% of his games he scored higher than that. So there's only last week and this week that he hasn't. So I might hold Cadman. Who they got? Sydney. Sydney's backline was really, really good today. I got to say I am a little bit worried about that, but Nelia could be back. There could be some better ball use coming in for him this week, and he played on what's his name, the Brisbane player, Harris Andrews. So he got a 53. So hopefully he can pull something out against Sydney. It might, rivalry games do bring out the best in players. So maybe Cadman can have another spike. Really, what I'm looking at is whether it's worth getting rid of him over Power, and it could be because the money might make sense. But I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to read some articles that come out this week from North Melbourne about what they're going to change. Because if he's playing this forward flank rank, it's bloody shit. And it's hard to watch because their delivery into the forward line isn't great. And when it does get in there, and if it does, so I think North don't have the hardest run coming up. Saints not too bad. Gold Coast is hard. This three after that is bloody brutal, and I don't feel like I want to hold through that. And even West Coast isn't easy. Like all the way to the bye. Like I'd just nearly rather jump off this at this point in time. So that's what I'm thinking about. And then Lazara and old Garcia hold up our poor forward line. So I'm going to switch him up there. Wilson's playing off the back flank a bit, which is really helping him score. It's like the McKercher type role. He's playing well in it. So he could be an option to try and loop if, say, Garcia gets dropped. But we're also going to be able to do this, actually. Which means I'll be able to get McKercher on field. And then, even then, if Williams goes out, Closey can go up there, or Graham can go up there, and I can loop them with Brown, which I like as well, because Richmond play... they both play after, don't they? This is the week that's shit. But I could get McKercher up there, so I'll probably put McKercher up here and loop him. Because I think I can. Yeah, I can, because he plays at 4 or 5. So that's what I'll do for that, I think. We'll try and get McKercher up here. So I guess that moves us on to trades. So let's have a look at what we can do. So originally this was my plan. I was going to go Williams, Cadman, and initially this is what I was looking at, and Meek. And then that would bring in Sweet, and then I could continue on looking at these underpriced premium options. But one that I think isn't underpriced necessarily, but is probably worth getting in now is Fife. Watching his game, he looks really, really fit. And he looks a lot better than he has previously. He was jumping in for like really contested balls, and I don't know, he's not going to score like this every week, but he is 47% held, and people aren't going to be trading him out. I feel like it's just one of those players I can get in now and just hold him and cut off the issues with one, having to field a rookie, but two, make the midfield get a rookie off the field, because that's the main thing we're trying to do. And then that leaves us with 533, which leaves us with a defender. So we can't really get a huge amount at this price. I'm thinking about McGrath because they do have a really nice run, but then I go, do I want to keep him for the rest of the year? Because, you got to think of these players as guys you're going to take on for the rest of the year. And I'm not 100% sure about whether McGrath can keep up this pace. Just looking at his scoring, he started off quite well, had a bad game against Adelaide, and realistically, his floor has been 90s. So that's kind of he had this one down game against Port Adelaide, but the rest has been all right. So this, I could look at this really, because Essendon got a really good run. I mean, West Coast and Optus, so a lot of running and kicking. GWS won't be too bad at Marvel. Then North, Richmond, Gold Coast. Like this is nice because Gold Coast will be watching Gold Coast today. They the ball goes back and forth quite quickly a lot, and Essendon are quite a pressure team, so going to put a lot of pressure on them, and it should be all right for defenders, I think. Trusting Martin and him is going to be interesting though, but at the same time, they're both averaging pretty well. His 5-round average is actually 121. So if you take that into account, like out of the defenders we have, that's Martin. I was like, that's higher than I thought it would be. 5-round average is 104. 3 rounds 113. So it's not horrendous. But this is going to be one of those things. Am I going to look at it like Nasser? I go, was this worth it? Thing is, he's priced lower, or like around the same amount as well. So that could like finish out this defense and not have a rookie on field. I guess the other option I'm looking at is going McKercher up, as I was saying, so I can loop with Brown. And then we could go LDU, but I already mentioned I didn't really love the way North was playing. Chad Warner had a good game, but like he loves playing well against the bad teams. And then the only other one that really tickles my fancy as an option is, where is he? Oh, Clayton Oliver, I forgot was here, but I think he's still a watch. Where are you? Where is he? It's Parrish. I don't know why he isn't showing up. Parrish. There he is. So Parrish is an interesting one. I didn't get to watch the Collingwood Essendon game, so I feel like if I'm going to make this trade or the McGrath trade, I want to watch that and just see how they played. But, doing this allows me to have, obviously, the loop option here. Or probably can go whichever Graham and Closey is getting most picked, and then I have a good lot of defenders that everyone's playing, and then Darcy, who is 47% owned, and 90% of the competition have on field anyway. So there's that option. The other option is, instead of doing this, we go back, and the reason Parrish is just the fixture and how cheap he is, and the fact he was able to turn it around last week against good opposition as well. So now I'm thinking instead we could do this. So we're going to keep Cadman. We're going to sub Reed. So Reed can play on field because most people probably play him on field. We're going to Williams, who's at, like, his break even is pretty much at parity. And we're going to go Meek and then get Sweet as well. So Sweet, I'm still thinking Fife just because everyone's got him anyway. And then that gives me 660, which is a lot of money. So then your options are like, do I do this and I go like a top line player? So if I put McKercher there, change this back to what it was a little bit. So Wilson can go here, Lazaro. I'll probably play him there. And then we go for a midfielder. And that opens up everyone. And watching Matty Rouse get starting to hurt, but and like the 3-round average is ridiculous, 132. What is Gold Coast run like? Brisbane's going to be hard. Then they got North, and then Geelong should be hard. And then Carlton could cop a tag, and Essendon could cop a tag, and St Kilda they could put Windhager to him. So and Fremantle's midfield's quite strong as well. So maybe this is one I wait on. I know this North game is going to hurt. And Buddy's in Darwin, so maybe that will help a little bit. But, you know, end of the day, it might be one I just have to keep betting because there's a lot to pay for him. Walsh is obviously here, 3-round of 133. But he got tagged last week. Maybe other teams will look at tagging a bit more as well. I'm unsure at this point, but also the money's pretty expensive. Merritt's coming down, so could wait on that. 130 break even. But they've got this really nice run, although West Coast don't seem to be as easy as we think they're going to be. Butters is going to come down. He should lose a bit, especially if he has another bad game. And I think the Crows are going to be able to put a lot of effort into him because they don't really have anyone else. In the midfield with Rosie going down, I guess Wines is there, and JHF, but Butters is going to be the one. Like it's not like you're going to have to cover both Butters and Rosie. Sorry. Took had a really good game, but I just don't. If I'm going to pick a Gold Coast midfield, I feel like it might be Rao. Now that I've seen a bit more, although Took still looks really good in there. It's just hard to pay so much for him when they've got such a stat midfield. So I'm skipping Steele. And who else is there? If Josh Kelly hadn't burnt me so much, I'd be really keen to go him. But 1.3%, you just got no safety going with him. Surprised so many people are still on Errol. That's pretty interesting. And then from there, like, then you're just dropping back off into that pricing that we were at before. So Bolton's going to lose a lot of money now because he didn't have a stellar game against Melbourne. And that was probably one of the things I was worried about. McRae doesn't look great in the forward line as well. I thought he was going to be a target this week. So it's like, what do we look at for the target? And I think that Parrish really looks like the best option, to be honest. Leaves me with 166k in the bank doing this as well. And I just don't mind it. Who have we got in the forward line again? So we could put here. Who else really are we looking at? Am I happy to pay 5? As I said, we got the same things going on with Took as we do with Rao, so there's something to keep in there. Am I happy to just go 640 on Merritt and just lock it in now? The average of 124 is really good. He's second to really Rao and Sarong, who I've already got. So it's like, do I just get the best midfielder and just lock it in? Especially the West Coast game. Like, I know we're saying West Coast isn't as bad as what they seem, but or do I go like Rory Laird? Sorry for the pause there. I don't know. It's a hard decision because Laird had a good game and the Crows fixture starts to open up after, even Brisbane's not playing that well. So like Collingwood, West Coast, Hawthorn, Richmond are all pretty decent to score on. What's Laird's average like? Pretty good average. Also, like, it was noted that Dawson stayed off against North Whereas Laird stays on and gets numbers. So that's something to think about as well. Really annoying because this opens up Stewart next week as well, doesn't it? Because Stewart's going to be 538 with a 138 break even, so he could go down. They got Melbourne and then Port, which are probably two teams that are going to get the ball down there, and then Gold Coast at TIO. Oof. This is a run where their defense is going to get tested. So I couldn't even go Stewart, but I don't know. It's hard. This is the hard part. You know, making these picks is what's going to really push you up. I'm just a little bit unsure as to where we go. I don't know why this is showing defenders when I don't need one. There we go. That somehow fixed it. So what if we just lock in? I really like Yo, and I've already said how I like their run because I got Essendon, the Crows against. Well, they actually haven't played the Crows. St Kilda, North, Essendon again, Hawthorn, North at the end as well. I don't know. This feels nice, doesn't it? But I don't really want to pay 600k for him. I know. Could you? 20% in as well. 610k though. That's a lot of money. What's his break even like? 99. Do I wait for a down game? That's what I'm thinking. Paris seems like the best value. I'll lock it in as Parish for now, but I need to see the game. So yeah, 5-4-26. Obviously could have got him for 200 at the start, but you know, sometimes it's better to just not risk the player and then wait and see. And you know, now that he's played well and proven that he can score well, we're going to settle on that. We'll VC Gorn, who no ruck against Geelong. But who would we captain from? Oh, and then probably like Captain Sarong. I feel like that's a good looping trio. West Coast also play on the Saturday though, so I can't loop. Can't loop through Livingston, which is frustrating. Can't even loop through Reed because he plays the same time. So that's something I have to think about as well. When can we loop? Maybe we get a Garcia dropped, but we can't loop him. This would be like good if you had a Lawman and he got dropped or something like that. Or a Hustwaite steal. Or even if you get that Riley Garcia, he actually scored quite well, but apparently Bevo said that he could have been the sub. So anyway, I'm gonna have a think about these trades. Like I'll probably do another video at some point this week and go through some options. Maybe we can have a rank of them from each position. I think the top targets are going forward and look at fixture and stuff like that as well. But these are just my quick thoughts on it without having watched the game properly yet. I guess I could change this Parish trade, but I think even though we're just swapping power for Fife, it's kind of a side swap, so I don't really mind it too much unless I read something from the from North saying that Power's going to go back into the middle because they did say about McKerch going back and it did happen. So we can probably trust them on their word when stuff like that comes out. But anyway, that was the week. I might just have a quick look at rankings. Sorry. Who had the best score? What was the best team? So Gaz's Goats. Let's have a look at this team. Went up 43k. What's their total? Does it overall rank? They went from that's. Oh no, that's change in ranking change. No, is that right? Did they go from 44,000 to 43? What, they scored 150 points more than me? I guess that's right, isn't it? Overall rank 1,060. Oh, I'm not that close. Am I 14,890? Nah, that must be wrong. That must be changing like rank. But anyway, round 7 points. So, oh yeah, 8,000. See, it was marked up before. About to say, there's no way. So what do they have? Sheasel, Martin, Whitfield. No money here. Ossie, Roberts, and they've also got Nas. Geez, they scored this with Nas. That's pretty good. And they had Closey on field. So they took the loop of Wilson. They got Merritt, Bont, Yo, Walsh, Dacos, Miller, and Jesus, midfield's stacked. And they got Mass on the bench, so they got a lot of money here. Won't take him long to fill out this back line either, because like Stewart's only like 500k, and then which can basically nearly side swap from D'Ambrosio, and they got Reed still as well. And they got Heaney, they got the VC on Gorn, they got the emergency and Sweet. So interesting to see that so many went early on Sweet, but I think he will be good because their midfield's quite good. So he's actually got people to tap down to, which I think Meek struggles with a little bit with Hawthorn. Heaney, Flanders, Jackson, Fife, Darcy, and Comben. So Sexton gets a game, they got quite good gen still. So good start for them. Let's look at the top team, or good round from them, I should say. Top team still went 2-4-9-1. Cheezel, Ryan. See, this is where when you start behind, it's just so hard to catch up. Cheezel, Ryan, Yo, Dacos, and they've got also, they're a Gov. See, thinking the same as the top team. Man, I wish I had Yo instead though. The team would just be in so much better shape if I had him. Now I have the issue of McGovern and Power. Closey, they got Rao, Sarong, Bont, Walsh, Green, Crouch, Fife, and Roberts. So it's a nice midfield there. See how like a lot of these teams just have Fife anyway, so it's not like a big risk getting him. Obviously paying a bit more. He's got the Gorn Sherry combo. I wonder if he'll look at maybe trading Sherry down to Sweet, because he can get 400k for that, and then really, it's easy upgrades for him for the rest of most of the side anyway. Then he's got the power issue as well. Now he's got the McRae issue, which I think that's an issue, because I don't know how much midfield time he's going to get from the looks of how Bevo played him. And then he's got Garcia, Wilson, Ewan, Reed. So yeah, still good cash. Jai Clark's going to be dead though. Obviously Finbar is his loop. But I guess Clark could get a game now with Danger out. Maybe be sub though, so he just loses money. But he could be there. I don't know how he played in the VFL anyway. But anyway, that is the round 7 review. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully, if you watch the videos of the weekend, thank you. Really appreciate it. I actually get a lot of views on those videos, a lot more than the reviews. So really thank you all for if you're watching both of these. Really thank you for that. Hopefully you guys had a good round. Hopefully things are building into you. Remember to look at buys. So that's actually one thing as well. One reason that Fife is good to pick up as well is because he has the buy with only 2 teams, which is round 13. So like, I'm only missing 3 players. Sweet's probably gonna get flipped at that point. Because from here he's making what? 113 negative. He can make 160 really quick by the looks. Could top out at 400k by that time. That's averaging 80. So if he goes 100s, like this could be, and he's got like some easy kills in Hawthorn and North. The only thing I'm thinking about with Sweet is I could potentially keep Meek as well, but I don't know, what's the point? I'd rather just have the loop. So yeah, as I was saying, thank you for watching over the weekend. If you did, thank you for watching this video now and getting to the end. As I said, leave us a like, have a comment, tell me how your week went, what you're thinking for plans going forward. Are you looking at guys like Parrish? It worked going on Dawson last week, the underpriced play, and hopefully it works with Parrish this week. How you're planning for buys. And yeah, give us a subscribe if you want to keep following along. Because I'm trying to put out videos that are giving a bit of information. So hopefully you've enjoyed it all. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.